I think I should make sure this is working correctly. 1 second. I'm just going to go to my Facebook on my computer and make sure that this... Okay, looks good. Looks good. Haha! Getting better at this. Okay, I'm going to answer some questions because I've had some questions coming in to me, and I appreciate the questions. All right. And if I miss any, I'm sorry. Just keep asking them, and I'll do my best to get to them. All right. First question was from Aubrey, and Aubrey said, she said, well, Sean, oh shoot, that's weird. It's not live. That's weird. On my computer, it's delayed. So interesting. Let me see if that pops up. I want to make sure that I'm doing this right. Yep, it's good. All right. So, Aubrey, she says, well, Sean, I'm confused because what am I committing to long term? What would I move on to post? Where's my camera? I want to look in the right place. What would I move on to post 11-day ER shred? What a great question. Okay, so here's the cool thing about the ER shred. It's kind of like this masterful reset jumpstart process. And it's going to have this dramatic impact on you. It's going to be life-changing. You're going to be blown away. There are things you can move on to if you want to. Like, I use those meal replacement shakes every day. Why? Because it's practical, it's convenient, it's fast, it's micronutrient dense. And I love the incubation concept. I love it for my workouts. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. My love affair with that is renewed, and I'm in love. So that's really exciting for me. So you could keep doing those, and that's up to you. There's people that might want to further their results. They might want to do another one, and they could do that. And we would make a few slight adjustments just to make sure that, that they can do that. There's people that might do back-to-back. There's people that might do back-to-back-to-back. Over time, if you do more than 3 consecutive resets, then you would want to up your caloric intake during the shake days so that your BMR, your base metabolic rate, doesn't get used to lesser calories. But really, you're getting such an abundance of nutrition on this program that I really don't think there's going to be problems. I've been doing this for 18 years, and yet I was doing it without the bigger shakes that are so satisfying and satiating. And I was doing it without the big meat meals. So people are going to feel so satisfied. It's going to be great. So with that said, it's really up to the individual how they want to proceed moving forward. There are other protocols that we can talk about if you wanted to keep the results coming, further the results, and you also wanted to continue on some of those products. So we can talk about that as it comes. The other question that you asked me was, can I use like my own nutritional supplements while on the program? That's up to you. If you wanted to, during that meat meal, you could take some other supplements if you wanted to. I'm not really concerned with that, but I would try, the shakes are nutrient dense and lots and loads of nutrition in there. And I don't really think you're going to need much more than that myself during this process. It's really a simple process. It's getting down to a baseline. We don't want to be adding a whole bunch of other things. And you know what? 90% of the supplements out there are shit, if I'm being honest. 90% of the supplements out there are just shit. So that's my opinion, in my opinion. And I've been in that industry since I was a little kid. Okay? So 90% of the supplements on the market are not health supplements. it's just marketing. It's just money. That's my experience and based on what I know and my dealings with very, very people that are in the know. Let's put it that way. So, but if you have something you really love, then yeah, and it works for you, you can't deny results, guys. That's the bottom line, is if you have something that works for you, keep with that. I would never knock that. And I know it's different sizes for all people. And I know that even though what it's done for me and my wife, and so many others, what it's going to do for them, I know it's not going to be a one-size-fits-all thing. And I know that some people, might you're never going to get 100% of people. That much we do know. You're never going to get 100% of people. So with that said, you're going to get an abundance of nutrition during the process. That's what's important. You're going to be overloaded with nutrition because you're not getting it from your foods. You might think you eat healthy, but yeah, the food in America sucks. You guys know that. The food in America, it just absolutely sucks. And we all have these health conditions, and we wonder why. And even I was dealing with health conditions that were killing me. Why? Because our food sucks. Did you know that over in Europe, GMOs are banned? You can't even use them. But you can use them here. And they're readily available here, and we're eating them, and they're fed to our children every day here because America's just not with it. That's the truth. That's the reality. My one friend, he went over there to France. He was over there for 2 weeks. He ate everything in sight, and he partied, and he drank almost all the time he was there. And guess what? He lost 10 pounds. How the hell does that happen? He's from here. He went there for 2 weeks and partied and ate everything. How in the hell does that happen that he loses 10 pounds? Why? Because they don't allow the GMOs over there. In fact, if you go to McDonald's over there, guess what? It's not the same food. It's different. You think it's the same and it's not, because they're not allowed to use the GMOs over there. Isn't that interesting? So our food sucks. Welcome to good old America, and it's too bad. But anyway, on the bright side, this is going to make a big difference for you. Now, what you do post 11 days is up to you. And if you decide to go on, our protocols, that's great. We will provide options for you, suggestions, recommendations, but it's totally up to you. And the good news is, even if you just did the 11-day ER shred, the good news is, here's the cool thing. I've been talking to a lot of nutritionists that do these kinds of things, and they've told me, they're like, this is it. This is spot on. You've got this correct. You've got this right. I've consulted with these people, and they're like, here's the cool thing. In their experience, people pay them a lot of money, and they do these very stringent processes. This one is not going to be hard compared to those. But guess what? Those people, here's what's crazy. Those same, the nutritionist told me that those same people, once they reset things, they can go back to eating things, and they're no longer a culprit oftentimes. So I can't say that's going to be the case all the time, but oftentimes when you reset things, all of a sudden you can eat your culprit foods. Now, let's talk about me. So that's good news for you, because, this isn't something you're going to have to just completely change your life forever. You might find that it serves you and works as a resource, and then you can live your life the way you want to live it. But for me personally, my goal is optimal health. And that's what I'm working towards achieving. I want optimal health for my body and my brain and my fitness. And so I want to be just as efficient as possible. I'm not going to be I'm not as pure as some, but here's what I'm doing. And I'll just be completely candid with you. So what I've been doing since I did the process, I've reincorporated certain foods slowly and independently. So for instance, I added avocado, and I added avocado for 3 or 4 days in a row with nothing else. And then it was cool because in my nutritional journal, I was able to check off avocado, check. It's good for me. I do well with that. Okay. Now, the next thing was honey. I really wanted to know if I could eat honey because I love honey. And I know it's really healthy, and I buy the best honey money can buy. And so I started implementing about a teaspoon of honey, and then I started to do that, a little more and a little more. And I worked up to the point where I'm about probably 1.5 tablespoons of honey per day now. And guess what? No issues. Feel great, totally cool, totally nothing, no problems. So this is what I've been doing, and I've done it with my dark chocolate, which I found a dark chocolate doesn't have any soy. Watch out for soy in dark chocolate because it's in all the dark chocolates. Most of them, it's got soy, and you don't want that. What else have I introduced? I tried one thing. I went to one of those really green organic health food type restaurants, and I got a bowl. And that bowl, in it had a whole big mixture of combination of everything, like organic vegetables and organic, like quinoa and brown rice and whatever other grains. And it did not feel good. And my body, it was so cool because now that my body's at that baseline and it's really clean and I'm starting to learn to communicate with my body, which I never knew how. And so then I realized that, okay, maybe I should keep things more simple than that, because that was just this massive cocktail of, sure, you could say it's all healthy, but again, is it healthy to just because it's healthy doesn't mean we should throw 100 items together and cause this massive phytochemical reaction, pesticide reaction in the body, in the stomach, and you blow it up. And so I noticed it made me tired, and I noticed that the bloat came back a little bit, and I was like, oh snap! But the bloat went away very quickly thereafter. So that was exciting for me. It was gone within 2 days, the bloat. But that sure taught me something. So you introduce a little brown rice, you introduce a little of this, you introduce a little of that. You do it for 2, 3, 4 days, and now you journal, and you can begin to understand what are your triggers. But for me personally, here's where I am with gluten. And you don't have to do this. I'm kind of, evolving into this health nut later in life. I don't have any desire anymore for Coke Zero. And Coke Zero was always it was kind of my hidden little my little thing that I liked. And it's not good for you anyway, but I don't need to go into all of that. We know it's not good for us, and I was always kind of bothered that I would go towards it. But again, an unhealthy body is attracted to unhealthy foods. You crave them. I don't even have a taste for it anymore. I don't even want it, and I haven't had it in a long time, so I'm really happy about that. I haven't had any gummies is my other one. I love gummies, like sour gummies. I'd always try to find the organic, the healthiest ones, but they're not healthy. It's just sugar. So I haven't had those in over 2 months, and I just don't want them anymore. Don't have a desire for them. Don't even think about it. Coffee ice cream used to be a real vice of mine. Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream. It's, I looked at the ingredients. There's no soy, but come on, it's a lot of sugar and a lot of dairy. And so I might just cave on that and do a little cheat thing once in a while, maybe once every couple weeks, but I don't crave it anymore. I don't need it anymore. Really, really exciting. So I'm starting to look at things as not food anymore. I haven't had pizza and I'm not saying you shouldn't eat pizza. You do what you want to do. Do what works for you, and what makes you feel good. And the cool thing about this resource is, you could potentially eat some things that, you could fudge here and there, and you do a 11-day ER reset, an ER shred once every season. Even if you just did it once every season or whatever, you can decide on that. It's going to bring you back to that baseline and empower you all over again. So that's really, really exciting. Another question that I had was about vegetables. For me, personally, I'm just going to keep introducing them gradually. And I know for a fact that vegetables is one of my biggest triggers. I know that because it's vegetables that bloat me. It's vegetables that give me the gas. And I'm suspecting that all big combinations of vegetables, they cause me distress, and they also cause me inflammation. Now, again, I'm not saying you shouldn't, that you should avoid vegetables, but we're all different. You've probably met people that can eat lots of vegetables and they do just fine. My dad can eat a lot of fruit and do just fine. Now, should you eat a lot of fruit? I would dare say no. My opinion, though, that's just my opinion, is because, fructose and, I've been reading about different effects on the body. I would say eat a little bit of fruit. We don't need to eat tons and tons of fruit. So again, you play with it and bring what you know, bring that to the table. You're going to learn a lot from people like me and my friends, my partners. A lot of those are health professionals, trainers, nutritionists, dietitians, doctors, and they'll offer their services in our group for free, okay? For my team, they offer it all for free. So that's just part of the program. That's exciting. I think I covered everything. Let's see, Aubrey. Hold on, let's see what else she asked me real quick before I let you go. She said this is pretty radical. Okay, let me address radical. You think it's radical. Here's why I don't think it's radical, okay? You can go, correct me if I'm wrong, but the human body can go about 3 weeks without eating food. Now, you can't go without water for only, say 2 or 3 days, but you could potentially go without eating for 3 to 4 weeks and stay alive. The body is extremely resilient and powerful. So let's, you are getting a ton of micro and macro nutrition in your body throughout this process. So, it's really not that extreme. In fact, let me put it this way. In our company, we have had, over the years, we've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of customers have come through. And, by and large, people get great results. The problem with, in my estimation, is that a lot of that was a little bit too restrictive. What we're doing is we have found ways to make the hard parts of what we've done for 18 years, we've found a way to make them enjoyable and manageable, and you're going to be able to do it. And it's not going to be like this mad, crazy. See, getting all that meat in the body, even though it freaks you out, it's only one big meat meal per day. You're not eating meat all day long. It's not like that. You're going to eat one big meat meal till you're satisfied, right? Add a bunch of butter on top for the fats, put a bunch of sea salt on top. But one big meat meal is what's going to empower you to what? It's so you don't turn to all the other things, and it really will work. And then trusting that you're getting all the micronutrition from those incubated shakes, which you are. More nutrition than you've ever had in your life. If you've never done anything like this, I'm going to tell you right now, having those 2 incubated shakes per day, you're going to get more nutrition, bioavailable nutrition. Not all nutrition. Some of the stuff you buy on the market, you'd be better off eating the cotton in the bottle and just throw the pills away because it's junk, okay? But this stuff, you got to understand that my father is a formulator of nutritional products. I don't know if a lot of you know that. My father has formulated nutritional products and consulted on nutritional products for his whole career. And his formulations have sold in the hundreds of millions of dollars all over the world. And he consults with, lots of the different doctors that have developed this stuff. So, I just hope you understand, like, this isn't some sales thing. Like, this isn't that. This is legitimate. This is bona fide. This is viable. This is, there's research to back this up. So you're going to get more nutrition from these particular incubated shakes than you've ever had in your life from eating a normal grocery store diet. I don't even care if you're eating all vegetables, because the food sucks in America, guys. But that's about all I got today for now. If you have any other questions, keep them coming. But I think you're going to find empowerment, Aubrey. I think you're going to find, you're thinking, I don't know, this is restrictive, this is fanatical. Nope. I think you're going to find it's actually counterintuitive. This is empowering. This is an answer. This is a solution to the problem that you've been dealing with, which is, what should I be eating? What should I be eating on a daily basis? Because whatever the hell I'm doing now, it ain't working. That's where I got. I got to the point where it was like, I don't know what is doing it to me. Now, me personally, Sean, I'm never going to eat. I probably will avoid corn the rest of my life. And I know that sounds crazy because I was the biggest chips and salsa guy you ever met in your life. But I'll probably try to find, fresh salsa or make my own. And then I'll find, if I ever, want to test out the chips and salsa, I'll get some chips that, are gluten-free, corn-free, and everything else. And I won't eat as much of those kinds of things as I used to, which, I used to eat so much chips and salsa because I loved it so much. And it was just this craving type thing. And I'd eat so much that it'd be like, whoa, I'm like full now. And then I wouldn't, and then that was my meal. That's not a good meal, admittedly, but, I'm human and a little embarrassing, but that would happen oftentimes. You're going to find it empowering. Watch the results come in, and I want you to look for people that share their stories and say, whoa, that was empowering. It's not just empowering because you're like, woohoo, look what I did. It's empowering because now you become, you put yourself in a position where you can readily find feedback. You can find feedback. Thanks, Kimberly. That means a lot to me. Yeah, you'll be able to find feedback from what you are eating. Does that make sense? You're going to be able to gather feedback from what you are eating. Does that make sense? Simple. Simple stuff. But most people will never get there because they're on autopilot and they just stuff their faces every day with all kinds of things, and they eat out every day. Even oils, you're never going to avoid the oils if you eat out, which I've not been eating out, and I love it because I'm saving so much money and I'm very shrewd. But you're never going to avoid the oils, and they're major culprit, oils. If you don't avoid, you got to get down to a baseline again. Some people say, well, is coconut oil healthy? Is MTC oil healthy? I've heard differing things. I've heard some people say they like it and they feel good on it. I've heard other people say they don't like it and they literally ended up in the hospital, and they think that it was causing them. And there's some dietitians that believe MTC oil, MCT oil, is causing leaky gut. Look it up. So we're all different, I guess. We're all different. Okay, guys, thanks. Bye-bye.